Hey guys, Marty here. Welcome back to Snappy Videos. This is the 6th episode in our 10 years in Digimon World 1 challenge. Now this episode might be a little bit shorter because in the last episode we failed to defeat the Ice Sanctuary. And we failed really badly, so I wanted to cover that in this episode today. And in this episode we're going to be covering day 30 in year 1 and we're finally ticking over to day 2 and we're going to get to about day 3. Now let's get this Ice Sanctuary sorted. If you guys are new to the series, check out the rest of the episodes right here. Now let's get right into it. I checked out our stats and decided that we had a lot of training to do. We set out to the gym and smashed out heaps of offense training. Did a dance in a poo, had a snack, then fell asleep. I walked away from the shit because I'm not a monster. I'm not letting you sleep in a pile of poopies. We woke up, smashed one training session, then it was time for a unicorn shit. We collected our daily ground sirloin from Digimon and continued training our offense stat. I wanted to increase his stat by a lot. Also noticed that Carl was starting to get a bit of a round horse belly, so I secretly started him on a vegetarian diet. It was nothing but mushies for this pudgy fella. The rest of day 30 we spent grinding up Carl's health. It was now day 1 of year 2. I continued training health. Unfortunately, Carl was hungry and I was out of mushrooms, so I had to feed him some meat while he climbed on the health rock. Get down, Carl! I collected my daily meat and went to see Agumon. I'm pretty sure he has a shit ton of mushies. I also decided to grab some offense and HP chips. I'll throw these at Carl later to get him all buff and stuff. Carl stood behind me and our heads fused for a minute. It actually looked really cool. I was not ready to lose in the Ice Sanctuary again. We continued training Carl's stats. He's going to destroy these guys. We took a break in our training to do some doo-doo. And guess what we did after that? Yep, you guessed it. We ate and continued training. I put Carl down for a nap in Gigimon's house. Then he arose from Slumberland and did a whole heap of awesome stuff. But then, my game froze. And I didn't actually know at the time, but this was actually the start of some really bad things that were going to happen to Carl and myself. Strap in team, shit's about to get really bad. I came back into the game just at the point where Carl woke up. I force-fed him horse steroids to increase his stats. He said no the first time, as steroids are bad. But after applying some peer pressure, the most overwhelming force there is in the world, he said yes and gobbled these bad boys down. I used 2 offense chips and 1 HP chip. This, combined with the insane amount of training we just did, will surely be enough to take down the Ice Sanctuary, right? It was time to stock up. We collected the day's meat. Yes, I know Carl's a vegetarian, but it's going to be useful later on. I caught up with our old mate Agumon and stocked up on mushies and a few other useful items. Next stop, Monochrome shop. I spent all my money, then considered selling an offense chip, but decided just selling the sirloin would be enough. We got a heap of recovery items for our mission. I went back to Agumon's item vault and dropped off all the unneeded items and had a nap in the clinic. We went off and we were ready to go. I found a mushroom in the jungle on the way to add to vegetarian Carl's dinner tonight. We got through the jungle and over the bridge without battling anyone. When we got into Freezeland, we safely got past the first few Digimon. Then, we ran into one. I ran away as it didn't seem like it was worth wasting the health items. I got past him the second time when we were on the last screen. I just had to get past these 3 Digimon. Could I do it? Yep. First go. I'm getting better at avoiding these guys. We'd arrived. This was it. Were we ready? Did we buy enough items? I checked Carl's stats, which was slightly down. I wasn't that worried as we could just recover these with items as soon as we started our next battle. I snuck in past all the Digimon and made it into the kill zone. This was where we were going to test Carl out. Speaking of Carl, he was hungry just before we got there. I felt bad and broke our diet. This could be his last fight. This could be it for him. So I wanted him to have some real food. So yes team, I fed him some sirloin. We took on the first friendly ice ogre. Carl lined up a nice kick straight into his chin and sent him flying. But this guy wasn't going down that easily. He got a heap of good hits in on us and we needed to use a load of items. We were frozen a few times, but his health was getting low. It was time for a special attack to knock this guy down once and for all. But I didn't see he was about to attack and started to charge up and it cancelled our special attack. This didn't actually matter because about 15 seconds later we hit him and took out his last bit of health. We were moving on. It's time to take on the other 2 Digimon, the ones that defeated us last time. We have a stronger Carl and a few recovery items. This should be easy, right? Well my friends, it's time to do it. Good work Carl, you wonder horse. We came to the next Digimon. This time Garurumon didn't see us, so it's a one-on-one battle. We might actually be able to do this. Carl sprang into action. We were frozen a couple of times, but we were hammering this guy with our back kicks. I was pretty impressed with Carl. He was doing really well. After all this training, we were getting somewhere, but we were getting low on recovery items. We jumped in with our special attack and we destroyed this ogre, knocking him flat on his massive face. We ran away and we were on to the next Digimon. There he was, Garurumon. I checked out our stats and ran straight up to him. It was battle time. Carl dug up the dirt and attacked. There are attacks flying both ways. Gurumon was hitting us hard, but Carl was hitting back just as hard. He got some nice back kicks in on Gurumon's face. I was keeping up with the items to make sure Carl had the highest health possible. Gurumon was hitting us with a lot of ice and stuff. We were getting close. Gurumon's health was getting super low. And then, after the ice storm had cleared, Carl kicked him in the face, and we'd won! I was so excited. We got past the point where we were stuck before. It was time to move further forward. Could we finally clear this area? We went through to the next area, found an item, and accidentally got into a battle. Our opponent had pretty high health, and we didn't have many recovery items. I let Carl attack a few times before I decided it's probably safe to run away so we don't die. What I didn't realize was, when I ran, it took us back to the bloody start of the last section and we had to beat all of those Digimon again. Damn it, Carl. We won't make it back through these 3 again. No way. After a little bit of yelling and swearing, I formulated a plan. We left the Ice Sanctuary and headed back to File City to get ourselves even more items than before. We were going to defeat this area. On the way back, we snuck past the first Digimon, the second, and bam, we got in a fight with the third. I ran from him. I didn't really want Carl to die. So now we tried again. I stuffed up on the first Digimon and they both came after me. We ran again and it was attempt number 3. I gave Carl a snack and we walked past all 3 Digimons with no issue. We then ran into our icy Agumon friend. I let Carl take him on. It was a pretty good battle. Carl kicked him and chased him around. We were hit with some ice, but that didn't really cause too much damage. Agumon walked around and Carl kicked him until we'd won. We continued on out of Friesland without any issues. The walk back through the Great Canyon was uneventful, apart from finding a mushy for Carl's new diet and having a sleep. We also got through the jungle without too much trouble. No one wanted to mess with Carl. Well, except for a big fat hairy man. Carl kicked him in the face and it had almost killed him. He didn't really get many attacks in. Carl kicked him with a second kick and knocked him out cold. When we got back to the city, we went straight to Monochrome's shop. We sold a couple of items and got what we could with the little money we had. I had an idea though. We needed today's food and a visit to Agumon's shop to get some of our unneeded items. I put some items away that I didn't need and grabbed one of my offense chips. These are good, but I just need the money right now. We've all been there. We went back to the shop and sold the offense chip and then went crazy with the MP floppies and recoveries. I got a boatload of SM recoveries, guys. I felt like a madman. Carl continued his diet and had a mushy before I checked his stats, realizing that we needed to have a bit of a rest before we go anywhere. 35 SM recoveries. That's a bit crazy. I'm crazy. Maybe I'm not crazy. Am I crazy? Carl, I think we're crazy. No, I can't be crazy. If you think you're crazy, then maybe not crazy. Am I crazy? We saw the doctor and had a rest. We went to take a shit, but Carl, again, shit himself. Then he ran away from me. He knew I was coming for him. This horse is in bloody trouble. I quickly rearranged my items to be more practical in battle and then we set out towards the Ice Sanctuary. We got through the jungle without too many issues, just an evil Patamon and an ogre with an attitude. Carl destroyed them both. We got to the Ice Sanctuary and went in. This was it. We had a trailer full of items and we were going to war. We met our first Agumon friend and it was on. Carl was ready to pounce. Carl got 2 hits in before he tried to hit us. He walked around aimlessly while Carl was hunting for him with some super sick unicorn kicks. We ended up confused, but he used his time to throw a heap of items at Carl and restore his stats. We were doing good. We had his health pretty low, but we just kept getting confused. After throwing a few more items, Carl's stats were looking pretty good. We powered up our massive unicorn attack and destroyed this frozen ogre. He dropped some meat, not that Carl could eat it, but I took it for the money. We're up to battle number 2, but unfortunately, Gurumon somehow saw us from the top of the screen and it was a 2-on-1 battle. I was nervous. The last time we took on both these guys, we didn't do too well. Carl was hit, but the ogre froze. Classic Gurumon was pacing again. I hoped that this would continue for a while. We became confused, which gave us time to focus on items. We were doing really well with attacks, and Gurumon didn't attack as much at this point, just the occasional attack. We kept laying kick after kick into this ice ogre until he died. It was just us and Gurumon and around 20 SM recoveries left. Things were looking good. So good. Then, I accidentally bumped the run button. Marty, this is not your day, man. What the hell is going on? Guys, this was such an annoying thing to do. I was so angry. We almost had this battle. What did I do? We were going to have to do it all over again. Then have enough to take on the next room. Just when we were getting ready to go in, another Gurumon attacked us. We ran, and we were ready to face our first ogre again. I fed Carl. At this point, I felt bad for this overworked horse. He sprang into action and laid some pretty heavy kicks into this guy, but he was doing some damage to us. I went through a heap of items, but in the grand scheme of things, we used hardly any of our stash. We won and moved on to the next battle. This time, Gurumon didn't see us. It was one-on-one, Ogre versus Pointy Horse. We took a few big hits straight up, and I was into some items. We became confused, but managed to get a small hit in. He hit us again with a massive attack, but we were coming back with some awesome kicks and loads of items. The battle actually went for a bit. We just kept throwing items at Carl, and kept kicking until we managed to get a special attack in. Carl kicked him away, then we started charging up. But he got us with his icy breath and stopped the attack. Luckily, Carl kicked him and we won. But this is really not my day, so many bad things are happening. We wandered up and there was Gurumon. I told him he's actually blue with white stripes and he attacked us. We landed a kick but were frozen straight after. I threw heaps of items at Carl because Gurumon was landing some crazy amounts of damage every time. We kept getting frozen. I was worried. Will this chew through our remaining items? Well, yeah, actually, we were getting super low. Carl kept kicking this rabbit dog, but he had loads of health. He was throwing loads of ice at us and really doing some damage. He was now on around 500 HP. We kicked him. One more kick and he is ours. We charged up a special attack while he was showing us his doggy butthole. And bam! Carl smacked his dog ass with his unicorn tornado and we won. Carl had a well-earned nap. We still had a couple of items, so a battle or two would be okay, but any more and it's lights out for Carl the Unicorn. We proceeded through the next door. Not far now and would have this thing in the unicorn ball bag. I avoided everyone and this time got to the teleporter. Bam! 3 more bad guys ready to yank our unicorn tail right off of Carl's butt cheeks. But first, some items. And there were recovery items too. I had to drop some items so I could pick them up. It was go time. Bring it, you assholes. One of them ran away like a little girl and Carl got straight into it. He was knocked on his ass and hit by them, but it didn't slow him down. He was now out for Ice Monster Blood. He delivered some pretty powerful kicks as well. We charged up a special attack which did 1500 damage. It wasn't long and one of the ogres had fallen down in agony. Then we uni-kicked the chops out of the other one to call it a win. I walked into the light, it was blinding. So blinding. Angemon spoke to us and we were confused as we couldn't see. We walked back to the teleporter Majigga and down to fight Gurumon. I was hoping we wouldn't actually have to battle him and it would take us straight back to the start. And I was wrong. Shit, we wouldn't have to fight our way out of here, would we? I had another poke around, surely there was another way out of here. Carl got into a fight, but we only had 1 recovery item left, so I ran and decided to try again. I found the teleporter right off to the right, and this time avoided any Digimon. We ended up in the training area and walked our way out from there, past some angry looking Digimon, and back to the entrance of the Ice Sanctuary, where we found Angemon, who joined the city. I wandered back to the city, collected the daily meat, stopped by Digimon's house, which was now a mansion. Check this out. If you guys enjoyed this video, smash the like button, otherwise subscribe to Snappy videos, and I'll see you guys in the next Digimon video.